This is all about Bitcoin, a show dedicated to all things, questions, and markets related to Bitcoin. Little b for the currency and Bitcoin, big B for the network. A collective journey to understand, apply, and use this innovation. All Bitcoin, all the time. I'm your host, Christine Lee. Let's have a live look at Bitcoin. The coin is Bitcoin price XBX index currently trading at $46,398. Bitcoin just slightly down over 1% over the past 24 hours. And looking at our top stories, Coinbase saying the SEC has threatened to sue over the crypto exchange's yet to be launched Lend project, a lending program for verified borrowers that offers 4% annualized yields. In a blog post, the Coinbase saying the federal regulator won't provide an explanation over how or why the program might fall afoul of securities laws. Coinbase's stock sliding amid the news. Meanwhile, Oslo-based Arcane Crypto, known mostly for its regulated securities products, ordered its first batch of Ant miners to start mining crypto this quarter. Company CEO Torbjorn Bull Jensen expects the batch to bring in over $400,000 of revenue per month. Meanwhile, Australia-based financial services giant Macquarie Group and Bitcoin technology firm Blockstream have linked arms to pilot a mining facility powered by renewable energy. Their first site will be in the United States. And finally, move over El Salvador. Panama is introducing a bill to regulate the use of cryptocurrencies throughout the country. The bill, presented by opposition Congressman Gabriel Silva Tuesday night, proposes that individuals or legal entities in Panama may freely agree to use cryptocurrency as a means of payment for any civil or commercial operation not prohibited by the legal system. It also proposes that taxes, fees, and other tax obligations may be paid using cryptocurrency. And joining us now to discuss is Congressman Gabriel Silva himself and Felipe Echandi, entrepreneur and crypto bill drafting team lead in Panama. Welcome, Congressman and Felipe, to the show. So, straight from the horse's mouth, I would love to hear more about this bill.
Of course, thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to me to share this with the audience. Hi, Felipe, good to see you again. It's been a quite interesting days for us here in Panama. And yes, I think this is historic for our republic, for our small country. Panama has always been a country of services. People might know that in Panama we have the Panama Canal. There's the second largest duty-free zone in the world. There's a strong financial services center, a strong legal services center. But Panama has to look ahead and to look to the future. And that means getting into blockchain technology, getting into cryptocurrency, and getting into crypto assets in general. So this is the first proposal, robust proposal that has been presented in Parliament, considering all aspects. Felipe Echandi, who's here with me, has been the lead team member who has helped us put all of this into words and presented it in Congress just yesterday. And it's a groundbreaking proposal because, first of all, it looks and it seeks to provide legal, regulatory, and fiscal certainty to the use, holding, influence of digital value and crypto assets in Panama. It creates a regulatory framework that promotes banking interoperability to foster greater financial inclusion. And also, it goes beyond that, also in promoting that the government uses the blockchain technology for improving their internal processes, government efficiency, and government transparency. So we hope this bill will put Panama in the center of Americas. I know that other countries in the region, such as El Salvador, have already passed similar laws in this aspect. But I think that our law is in some way even better since it goes further certain coins or certain or cryptocurrency. It considers crypto assets. It considers the blockchain technology. So it's a little bit more ambitious. And what we're trying to do here is to attract companies that are focused in cryptocurrency and crypto assets, to attract investments in Panama and create jobs jobs for the future of our country. Felipe might develop the project a little bit more.
Right. Felipe, tell us a bit about the similarities and differences in this bill compared to the one in El Salvador. And you had a hand in drafting this bill, so tell us the details.
Certainly. Well, contrary to El Salvador, we are a country that has a constitution where legal tender is prohibited. Panama has never had a legal tender. Panama doesn't have a central bank. So therefore, it is incompatible with our constitution to demand and force individuals or businesses to accept any specific sort of payment. However, We believe this is an advantage because it makes us inherently open to the world, inherently open to the future, and compatible with any technology that comes. And may the best be the one that is adopted by individuals. So that's a key difference from El Salvador. We are not making crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, any particular token mandatory. The second point is we go further. We see our country, and we believe countries that will treat their citizens in a way that's compatible with the future are the ones who are going to survive and remain viable. So we believe that Panama has all the potential to shift from something more similar to a DAO-based country. If we make countries more transparent, if we digitize identity radically, and if we allow people to establish confidence with smart contracts in addition to the traditional means they do today, we might be able to have a new sort of governance, a new sort of country. And the objective of this project is to create a groundbreaking ecosystem that allows not only certainty for the assets themselves, but certainty for the innovators, certainty for the platforms that wish to establish here, and a competitive tax treatment that is compatible with Panama's traditionally also competitive territorial tax system. So people can physically move here and build the future for the rest of humanity from the sunny beaches and rainforests of Panama.
Right. There are some challenges, though. We did see the Bitcoin law rollout in El Salvador yesterday. It was met with protests, technical glitches, and a price crash. So not everybody was happy about it. And meanwhile, the IMF is saying that is very skeptical about the Bitcoin experiment. And many governments are also having a skeptical eye, as well as ratings agencies. Is that a concern of yours?
Thank you. I think it's a very interesting question. I think, as Felipe mentioned, there are very fundamental differences from our law than from El Salvador's. For instance, we are not imposing any type of particular coin. What we're seeking is something that actually many international organizations already recommend, that is to regulate cryptocurrencies. We aren't creating a fund like El Salvador is doing. We're not putting one mandatory coin like El Salvador is doing. We're not imposing or proposing a government wallet like El Salvador is doing. What we're seeking is to provide a legal framework to give the possibility, the option that citizens pay their products and their services with cryptocurrencies in general. So it's a bit different from what El Salvador has doing, which is why I believe that if this proposal becomes law, maybe the internal setback from the population would be less. Actually, I see a very strong support from the citizens, because the opposition that we might see are maybe from traditional financial institutions, but for the population, this is a very important project because it also gives them financial freedom in two ways. First, in Panama, more than 50% of the population does not have an account, and giving them this possibility would obviously give them access to transfer money, to buy products and buy services that they couldn't afford without a bank account. So I think that there's a strong support from the citizens, from the population, for the approved bill. We're not imposing one single coin, which I know in Salvador that has been a very strong opposition by some people. But I also, and this might be a political message, I would challenge, from what I've seen in El Salvador, how many people are really opposing this? Because from the pictures that I've seen, the videos that I've seen, it seems a political attack from what is happening in El Salvador. So I have my doubts if it's really a strong opposition in El Salvador for what's actually going on there. But I don't know if Felipe might want to expand on that as well.
So certainly. I mean, we have been a country that has served the rest of the world. In our national coat of arms, you see a motto in Latin that says pro mundi beneficio, that means for the benefit of the world. And we believe we just have to transform in a way that allows us to keep doing that for the benefit of the future of humanity. And that has to be future-proofed, has to be open to every type of technology. We've been following very closely, for example, the discussions on the infrastructure bill in the US, and we have tried to include the most competitive provisions to give certainty to innovators, not only in the holding and managing of crypto, but also in DeFi, smart contracts, DAOs, and some other sorts of establishment of trust and experiments that are happening right now before our eyes. So I'm super excited. Hopefully, if this becomes law, which we're very hopeful that will be the case, we will attract a ton of people, and hopefully you'll get to meet our little part of the world and help us build the future humanity from here.
Speaking of which, would you advocate or foresee a government-run wallet like El Salvador's Shiva wallet? And secondly, you've alluded to this, but as an opposition politician, Congressman, how much support does this proposed bill really have?
I will answer the second one. I think the first one, Felipe might develop it a little bit more. Yes, I'm an independent member of parliament, considered opposition, but several things I think we should consider. First is that when I presented the law, I had as co-signatures or co-sponsors of the law, members of parliament from all the different political parties, from the ruling party and from opposing political parties. So there are members of parliament here in Panama from all the political parties that have realized that this is important. They have co-sponsored the bill with me together. That's the first thing. The second thing is that we have already had preliminary talks with government officials from the executive branch, from different institutions. We have told them about the project. They know about the project already because we proposed it yesterday, have reached out to us. So there is certain openness from them and possibility from them to engage in a constructive dialogue and a constructive collaboration to build up on the project. I'm a opposition candidate. I'm an opposition member of parliament, but I have good relations with the executive branch, especially for important projects. I think that it is possible to build bridges and make them law. And the third important point is what I already mentioned, is that the community in Panama, the cryptocurrency community in Panama, the Bitcoin community in Panama is very strong, it's very active, it's very big. And I think that's going to be key in approving this law. If they get involved, as they have been, if they in social media or in parliament, they come and they see this bill, I think it will be very possible to have this approved as soon as possible. So I think definitely, I'm a opposition candidate, I'm a opposition member of parliament. That makes it a little bit more challenging, but we have already talked with the executive branch, members of parliament from the other side of the table, and the community is very strong and wants a very important part of the community wants the project. So I think it will move ahead fastly.
Right, I can verify it. The Panaman community in crypto is very active. I had the chance to meet the Deribit CEO there and go kite surfing with a couple of folks building companies down there. We've got to wrap it there, but Congressman and Felipe, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. That was Congressman Gabriel Silva and crypto bill advocate Felipe Echandi. Coming up, Bitcoin price analysis with CoinDesk's very own Galen Moore.
The chart of the day is brought to you by Crypto.com, the world's fastest growing crypto app.
Forced closure of long positions or bullish trades accounted for over $3 billion, over 90% of total liquidations Tuesday, which shows the leverage skewed excessively bullish across the market. Liquidations happen when trades cannot fulfill margin requirements for holding long or short positions and often exacerbate bullish or bearish price trends. And this chart, using skew data, is showing more than 290 million worth of Bitcoin futures positions were liquidated on Huobi, the second most behind Bybit. At one point, Bitcoin sank below 40,000 on Huobi, the lowest point of any major exchange during Tuesday's crypto market correction. Bitcoin is stabilizing around the 200-day moving average at $46,000 after Tuesday's sharp sell-off. Buying could be limited, according to CoinDesk analyst Dominic Dantes, as sellers are in control of the $50,000 resistance zone. Upside momentum has slowed over the past month, although buyers were able to defend support around the $42,000 breakout level achieved on August 6th. And joining us now to discuss is CoinDesk Director of Data and Indexes, Galen Moore in Boston. Welcome to the show, Galen, as always. So what's behind these big liquidations?
You know, that's always the question. I think anytime you see the price move like this, you are going to see positions liquidated in the futures and the swaps markets. And certainly the funding rate and the perpetual swaps was trending positive over the past few weeks. So perhaps just some people got out over their skis and certainly that has an accelerating effect, as you noted, in a moment of market volatility.
And there's a lot of volatility. Trading volumes 70% on Tuesday, now down to about 20%. So was that all because of the excitement surrounding the El Salvador Bitcoin law, or are traders coming back from the holiday and that's what it is?
I'm inclined to think more of the latter, Christine. I think what's happening in El Salvador, certainly a lot of people are watching it, but I think we've seen in the past that the events there haven't really shown the ability to move markets, and I don't expect that would be any different in this environment.
All right. Well, the CoinDesk 20 returns so far in September. We have a chart. Bitcoin trailed the entire list in August, but is improving this month. Tell us about what's going on here.
Yeah, I think, what you're seeing here is the effects of Tuesday's price action. Anytime there's a bit of a downward move, Bitcoin does tend to do a little better, and it does tend to lag altcoins in the run-ups. What's interesting here is I think, you see some of the assets that were leading in August right now underperforming Bitcoin. But at the same time, kind of a mixed bag in terms of what are these assets that are outperforming Bitcoin so far in September. Certainly Filecoin up more than 10%. It has this kind of institutional pedigree, right? It's a Y Combinator company. Investors include Union Square Ventures and Sequoia. And I'm bound to add Digital Currency Group, parent of CoinDesk. Plus, it actually does something that technology investors can understand. It's a storage product, which is as old a story as EMC and VMware. So I think, at the same time, you've got some projects in there that are more retail driven, perhaps. Polygon and Chainlink have certainly been driven by retail enthusiasm. And those have outperformed Bitcoin so far this month as well.
Yeah, at the same time, we're seeing Bitcoin dominance standing at about 41% compared to the market cap of the whole rest of the crypto market. Do you ever see Bitcoin dominance ever coming back to over 50%?
Not in this environment, I don't think, Christine. I think you'd have to see something change significantly, maybe either geopolitically, technology-wise, or regulatory in crypto. But right now, I think Ethereum and its ilk, its sort of affiliated properties and also competitors are in the driver's seat. Investors are taking serious long-term capital is taking an increased interest in that story. And I think we'll continue to see that sort of push Bitcoin below the 50% point on Bitcoin dominance.
All right, Galen, always a pleasure. Thanks for joining us. That was CoinDesk Director of Data and Indexes, Galen Moore. And that's it for All About Bitcoin. I'm your host, Christine Lee. Join us tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. in New York for First Mover, your first look at the day's global crypto news headlines. You're watching CoinDesk TV.